Welcome back, class 10. Today in your history class, we will start chapter 4. Second phase of the Indian national movement, partition of Bengal and other developments. So, at the start, let us see what happens. Discontentment in the country went on increasing with the lapse of years. As years passed by, discontentment or dissatisfaction started. The drought, that means famine, led to a countrywide famine in the year 1896 to 1897. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, through his writings, explained to the peasants. So, Bal Gangadhar Tilak started writing and started explaining the farmers their rights to relief. I mean, they had their right to take relief measures from the government. And it was under the Famine Relief Code. The soldiers were deputed to take plague-infected people to isolation camps. So plague-infected peoples were taken and they were kept in isolation camps. The soldiers behaved like invaders. They behaved like gang of dacoits. They insulted the women, throwing household goods on the streets, and they misbehaved with people, those who had plague. In that what happened, two young men, Damodar Chapekar and Balkrishna Chapekar, killed the plague commissioner, Mr. Rand. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, who was not at all connected with the murder, was also arrested. So what happened now was, he was tried, that means he was put on the court trial for his explosive writings in the newspaper Kesari, and he was sentenced to 18 months of imprisonment. So why I read out this? Because this was the background on which this chapter is based. There was plague, there was famine, people was mistreated, ill-behaved, isolated. Mr. Rand, who was the plague commissioner, he was murdered. And in that case, not only the Chapekar brothers were arrested, Mr. Bal Gangadhar Tilak was also arrested and he was put to trial for his explosive writings in Kesari. Now, repressive policy of Lord Curzon. Remember his name, Lord Curzon. Lord Curzon. Curzon, Curzon. Lord Curzon was the Governor General and Viceroy of India from 1899 to 1905. Much of the unrest in India was due to Lord Curzon's repressive policies. Repressive, that means policy to press the Indians, policies which went against the Indians. So, what happened during his era, I'm reading it out. He roused a storm, that means he raised a storm of opposition in the country. Why? By the Calcutta Corporations Act of 1899. He came in 1899 and he passed the Calcutta Corporation Act in 1899, which reduced the elected members of the corporation to half. What happened? He passed an act where the elected members, suppose the elected members were 100, now the elected members will be 50. He reduced it to half. Similarly, the chief purpose of Universities Act of 1904 was to reduce the autonomy means freedom, and turn them into departments of government. He wanted to turn the universities from an autonomous body to government department so that the university will run under the whims and fancies of the government. Sedition Act. What is sedition? Sedition means if you go or do something against the country, that is sedition. So the Sedition Act and Official Secrets Act were curtailed. Curtail means it was reduced. Certain things were reduced. And liberties means freedom of all sections of the society. Curtailed the liberties of freedom from all sections of the society. Means whatever freedom was there entitled in the Sedition Act and the Official Secret Act was curtailed. Lord Curzon, most unpopular measure was the partition of Bengal. What was his most unpopular measure? The partition of Bengal was Lord Curzon's most unpopular measure. Now, the partition of Bengal. The province of Bengal then comprised of Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, Chota Nagpur, and Bengali speaking district of modern Assam. It had an area of 1,90,000 square miles with a population of 78.5 million. In 1903, Lord Curzon formally approved the scheme for the partition of Bengal. So what did Lord Curzon do in 1903? He approved the scheme for the partition of Bengal. The Congress denounced the scheme. Denounce means did not agree with the scheme. At the annual session in 1903 and 1904, they went against the scheme. The protests continued, and yet the government put its plan into effect in 1905. The plan was carried on in 1905. Accordingly, a new province called the East Bengal and Assam was constituted by combining Assam and Chittagong with 15 districts of Old Bengal. So what happened? After this plan was carried out, a new province known as East Bengal was formed. And in that East Bengal, what was there? New province called East Bengal and Assam was constituted by combining Assam and Chittagong with 15 districts of Old Bengal. Clear? Okay. The new province comprised an area of 1,06,540 square miles with a population of 31 million. From that 31 million, 18 million were Muslims and more than 12 millions were Hindu, and the capital was Dhaka, and the subsidiary headquarters was Chittagong. So East Bengal was formed. Okay. Now this partition is a very, very favorite question which is often asked, and you should know. Causes of partition. There are basically two versions. One is the government's version, what the government said, and what was the actual reason. Okay. So let us see what was the government's version, what was the government's reason for partition. The government regarded the size of the province of Bengal to be too large to be properly administered by a single provincial government. It is a very lame excuse. That means the area of the Bengal is so large that one provincial government cannot govern it. They are ruling India. They are ruling at that time half of the world. They cannot rule over Bengal. No. The basic reason was to make a division. Let me read, you will understand. Therefore, the idea of reducing the size of the province was mooted from time to time. The partition of Bengal, said Lord Curzon, was a mere adjustment or readjustment of administrative boundary. Anyway, another argument was there that it would improve the administration of both the provinces Bengal and East Bengal and Assam. So it was a eyewash, you know. The reason was an eyewash. The actual reason was something much more deeper, much more intense. Now, what was the main reason? Main reason was to strike at the roots of Bengali nationalism. The real motive was to break the growing solidarity. Solidarity means brotherhood of Bengali nationalism. You should remember, all of you, that Bengal at that time was considered the nerve center of Indian nationalism. Nationalism started from Bengal. Lord Curzon desired to crush the new spirit by dividing and politically advanced communities into two separate provinces. So, divide and rule. You know what happened was, I want to read you this thing. Lord Curzon and the British officials believed that, quote unquote, Bengal united is power, Bengal divided will pull the national movement in several different directions. They were afraid that if Bengal unitedly fought against the British, it would be very difficult for them to continue their rule in the country. Number two, the policy of divide and rule. That means to drive a wedge, difference, crack between the Hindus and the Muslims. Another motive behind the partition was to drive a wedge between the Hindus and the Muslims. So, the mullahs went from place to place explaining to the Muslims that the government was on their side. You know, Lord Curzon went on a tour to East Bengal and addressed and explained that the object of partition was not only to relieve the Bengal administration but also to create a Mohammedan province. See their brain. They said, see, we are creating East Bengal, it will be a Mohammedan province, it will be a Muslim province. And they believed it. They did not understand the deeper plan. They did not understand that the Britishers were trying to weaken the solidarity, the brotherhood between the Hindus and Muslims. And they succeeded. They succeeded. It is the most unfortunate part of Indian history. To demonstrate the strength of British Raj is the third point. Lord Curzon was reactionary, having a dislike for democratic ideals. He believed that the people of India, illiterate as he called them, could not have a political aspiration. To him, the demands of the National Congress had no meaning. So to prove their strength, that we are the king of the world, we are the rulers of the world, Bengal was divided. Anti-partition movement. The partition gave a shock to the whole political life of the province, and the whole province was revolutionized overnight. The Bengalis felt that they had been tricked, they have been humiliated, they have been insulted. Under the inspiring leadership of Surendranath Banerjee, K.K. Mitra, Bipin Chandra Pal, Ananda Mohan Bosu, Aurobindo Ghosh and Rabindranath Tagore and others, agitation, disturbance spread like wildfire, it spread. All prominent newspapers joined the protest. On 7th August 1905, a massive meeting was held in Town Hall in Calcutta. Students stood in group, each holding a banner, displaying slogans like Unity is Strength, Vande Mataram, No Partition. Among other resolutions, a boycott resolution was also passed. So anti-partition movement started like this. People's reaction on October 16th, the day of mourning. I think once or twice question has come regarding this, October 16th. Partition of Bengal became effective on 16th October 1905. Remember it. The leaders declared it as a day of mourning. Mourning means sadness. When we mourn, bereavement, when we bereave. Throughout Bengal, every city, every town, village now rang the cry of Bande Mataram, which symbolized patriotism and unity. Anand Mohan Bose, a veteran political leader, presided over a very big meeting in Calcutta. He laid the foundation of Federation Hall, which was to be the symbol of unity of Bengal, a meeting ground of the eastern and western Bengal. All people gathered and took a vow of Swadeshi. Rabindranath Tagore wrote a Bengali song, Amar Sonar Bangla, which is now incidentally the national anthem of Bangladesh. And the song echoed all over Bengal. So, this is all for today. In the next class, we will start with Swadeshi and boycott movements. Thank you very much.